Right. All right. We are back, my friends. Got my mint tea. Let's get my computer out. We'll start looking what some questions people ask me, and maybe I'll have some answers. Okay. So anything you want to ask, fire away. But just because you ask it doesn't mean I'll have an answer for you. I don't know, but I'll try my best. And if I don't know the answer, I'll make something up. Man, had a vacuum in here because last Penny was just got done eating some serious stuffed animals, tearing them apart. Made a big old mess, that dog. All right. Got my Austrian Revolution shirt on, by the way. Mises University. So remember, we are adherents to the Austrian School of Economics. Hey, Clint, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you around. I haven't seen you around much, man. It's old Clint Collins. Right on. All right. Can't stand it for another day when you live so many miles away. All right, let's see. I'm just trying to work on that. Jay Falbo, man. Yeah, right on. Austin, fire away. You all got the mic. Just fire away, man. Fire away. Hey, what's going on, Jay Falbo? Welcome aboard, man. Where are you from? First time, long time? Where are you from? I guess it would be a long time. Let's see what else we got. So yeah, man. You guys, whatever you guys want to talk about, I got about an hour hard stop because my daughter and I are watching this show on North Carolina. Right on. We're watching this show called The Feed. Hey, Kim, what's going on? Welcome back, Kim Honeycutt. Tom Major in the house. Right on, man. A guy emailed me the other day, Tom, from Calvert County, Maryland. Waynesville. All right. Not familiar with Waynesville, North Carolina, but and I look, as much as Maryland is nuts politically, it's a freaking beautiful state, man. That's all there is to it. All right. Yes, they were. Absolutely, Kim. Nuts, weren't they? I mean, that's what's crazy. Those people were for real, and they're in charge. They're in charge. That's what's crazy. But that's Eric, que paso. All right. Yeah. Chicken Charlie back. Jordan, right on. Yeah. All right. So is my man Austin gonna let's see. So if anything, all right, well, while we're waiting, all right, here we go. If you were mid-20s with about 1.5 million, and no mortgage, how much would you invest and how much would you put towards retirement? How much would you invest and how much would you put toward? I don't. Why are those two things two different things? I'm confused. How much would you? I don't get what you're saying, man. I don't get why put towards retirement and investing are two different things. So I'm at a loss for what you're asking me. I'm not trying to be a dick. I just don't know what you're saying. All right, good. So let's. So if you want to maybe rephrase that or something like that. All right. So we got Kevin. Okay. Kevin says $1 million investments, half in cash, waiting for a pullback or solely buy into the market, 8 years till retirement and looking forward to a pension. Yeah, I mean, why are you in cash to begin with? That'd be my question, man. I just why are you in cash to begin with? So that's because there's a reason you're in cash. And has that reason dissipated? I don't know what the reason is, but we'd have to answer that. Nothing really has been inspired by some of your vehicles, your book on retirement on Social Security, right? I tell you, man, it's freaking nuts. It pisses me off. Hey, right on. All right. So Kim wants me to explain variable news. Anything specifically? All right. So Kim, hang tight. My man Austin followed up on that. Anyway, real quick. So Jay says, my book on retiring on Social Security. For the love of the good Lord, my friends, the median household income in the U.S. Now, this is everybody. All right, it's basically all adults. Is about $65,000. The median household income is about $65,000. Just for simplicity, if you work just Kim, hang tight with your question. Jay will get your question next. This drives me flipping batty. So if I work 35 years and I've made $50,000 in index numbers, all right, I don't want to go into what index numbers means, but just basically says in 1990 you made 25,000. That's the equivalent of 50,000 today, or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but just hear me out for a second. Well, I didn't make $50,000 in 1990. I only made 22,000. It's the same as 50,000 if it's indexed. That's what I'm trying to say. So 50,000. That's what we made. We made it for 35 years times 35. All right. We take our trusty calculator. I just had a guy. I think he tried to be helpful, but he found what he thinks is a mistake for one of my videos from 2 years ago. He says, I know you have trouble with math in your head. I'm just like, oh, dude, I know he's trying to be helpful. I'm like, dude, I just, come on, man. He watched the video and he's like, I'm going to tell this guy he was wrong. And he wasn't being an ass, but it comes across that way. I'm not going to lie to you. Anyway, so we take it, and I'm just like, frankly, I don't care. I mean, look, if there's my man Sergio has called me out a couple times for mistakes I've made, and that's fine. Other people call me out for mistakes I've made on recent videos, that's fine. If the video is over 2 years old and you're calling me out for a mistake I made, I wonder if it's me or you, because I haven't heard it from before. I don't know who you are, and I would thought I just frankly don't have time to go in there and change it. I'm just not gonna. So something simple. If it's a drastic mistake. Typically my audience is pretty quick on the fly to say, hey, you screwed this up and I'll fix it if I do a drastic mistake. Oh boy, what do you got now, big boy? Nuts. But hey, you did this video 22 years ago where you said something. All right, so we take 50,000 times that by 35 years of index earnings. That gives us 1.75 million, because I have trouble figuring out math in my head, says my man Charles. 1.75 million. That is our total indexed earnings. 1.75 million. Our total indexed earnings. We divide that by 420. Why do we divide that by 420? Because that's 35 years of average index month. 35 years, we got to find our average index monthly earnings. And 35 years times 12 is 420. So we just take that by divide that by 420, and we get 4166. That is our average index monthly earnings. And the reason that's so flippin' important, because that's what our Social Security is rested on right there. That number is deciding what our Social Security is. So we take 4166 off the top of my head. I don't remember the exact bend points. We're going to say 960. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's not roughly 960. And then in this case, the rest is the second bend point. Bear with me just a second. Minus 960 is 3206 times 0.32. So what we do is we say, okay, 4166. The first $960 is the first bend point. We times that by 90%. That's how much of that we're going to get for Social Security. So 960 times 0.9 is $864. All right. The second bend point, 3206, we times by 0.32. And they're going to get 1,225. All right. So between 864. So our PIA is 1889. All right, so we made 50,000 a year for 35 years. That's it, and 35 years is the max. Our primary insurance amount is $1,889. It's literally that simple. $1,889. We times that by 12. We're going to make $22,000 in Social Security. $22,000 in Social Security at our full retirement age. We'll just say 67. Now, if we wait till 70, we'll make more. We'll make 24% more times 1.24. We'll make $28,000. If we take it earlier, we'll make 32% less if we take it earlier. Don't take it earlier. Anyway, the point being is we made $50,000 a year. We'll just say a 10% tax rate minus FICA. So just what we're talking about. $50,000 a year. All right. And for simplicity, we're going to say a 10% effective tax rate, 10% to 401k, 7.65 to FICA, 27.65%. We're going to lose the taxes. So $50,000 a year, we're going to lose 10% to income tax, state and local, state and feds, 10% to 401k contributions, 7.65% to FICA. We're going to lose 27.65% of that $50,000 minus 27.65%. That means we're walking away with $36,000. And just from Social Security alone, we're going to have $22,000. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but you can retire on Social Security if all your debts are paid off. Absolutely. And that's without any planning whatsoever. That's without even including a spouse. All right. It's nuts. And on top of that, don't forget, just because you made $50,000 and you're living off $36,000, that may or may not be the actual amount of money you need. All right. So it drives me crazy when people say, I can't retire on Social Security. All right. So here my man says, all right, would you prioritize taxable account over Roth and 401k? How much would you be saving going forward? I'd be doing as much as I can in my Roth. Absolutely. If you already have 1.5 million, you can't really do anything with 401k. So it's either a tax. I highly suspect it's not a tax deferred account. So in that case, I'd be doing Roth and I'd put on a brokerage account, VTI. Just put in a VTI and walk away, man. I mean, if you're in your 20s, you got 1.5. I assume you inherited that, or maybe you had a lawsuit or something like that. As such, that can't go into a 401k. It can't all go into a Roth. It can't all go into an IRA. Thus, a taxable account, in my opinion, is absolutely the way to go. There's nothing wrong. I mean, everyone, it's a brokerage account. So what? VTI, Vanguard Total Stock Index, ETF, pays what? 1.8% dividends, taxes qualified dividends, and no capital gains? Wow. What do you do? People get all, oh my goodness, I need to have a deferred account. No, you don't. All right. So here's Kim. Kim's asked a question about annuities. Do you get a bigger payout as the stock market increase? Do you lose your principal investment? Okay. So this, so let's go into this. With the variable annuities, you absolutely could lose your investments. I mean, it is a investment. Thus, you could lose it. It could go to zero. That's a fact. The nice thing about variable annuities is that while your investment could go to zero, your income benefit base cannot. And this is why the fees are high, because you're paying for a secondary method of security. And again, I mean, just because the fees are high doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it bad. It just makes it is. And if you know what you're paying for, it's absolutely okay. Hold on just a second. I got a message about Finn attacking. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. So there's Pablo. Just seconds before Finn attacked him, because Finn likes to play. So I saw that attacking. I was like, yikes. All right. So remember, the variable annuity, there are two things going on here. Two things. Kim, we're just going to say you put $100,000 in. All right. So this is your investment account. This is your income account. Hold on just a second. All right. So we have two things going on. We have an investment account right here. Then we have an income account right here. All right. They're not really aligned at the hip so much. In a way they kind of are, in the way they aren't. But your investment account, going back to what you said, could you lose everything? The answer is unequivocally yes. It could go all the way down to zero without question. Without question. But the reason why that's not necessarily, I mean, look, it'll never happen, but it could. I mean, don't get me wrong. But the reason why a variable annuity is appealing is because if you're trying to get it for an income stream, even if the investment went to zero, your income side of it will never go to zero. It's guaranteed to be no less than something. It depends on your contract. But I like the annuities of the contract that says, if you put $100,000 in here and wait 10 years, we will guarantee you that 10 years from now, this investment account, this income account will grow to $200,000. All right, so it'll go. So I probably should have done it differently. I probably should have done your income account will grow to 200K. So even if the investment side of it falls to zero, the income benefit side is guaranteed, in this case, to go to 200K. Now, each contract is different. But that's the one I used to sell. I loved them. I thought they're great. So we know for a fact, in 10 years, the worst case scenario with Mrs. Smith is that you will have $200,000 for which you can pull 5% a year off without, it doesn't matter what the investment account did. It doesn't matter. So 5% a year off $200,000 is $10,000 a year guaranteed without any risk other than the solvency of the insurance company, which doesn't scare me at all. So even if this drops to zero, this will always be there to protect you. Now, the likelihood of this dropping to zero is not high. So that part of the investment account, it could go up. It's probably not going to go up more than the income account because the fees weigh it now. But let's just say 10 years from now, your income account is $200,000 and your investment account is $175,000. All right, so your income base is $200,000. You could take, again, 5% of the year of that every year until you're dead. Or you can just say, yeah, I'm just done with these guys. I'm just going to take a lump sum, $175,000, if that makes sense. And you can just roll that to something else. Take a check. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do with it. That's typically what happens. So what generally speaking happens here is your income account is worth more than your investment account, all right? And what happens is people say, well, I don't want to move this because I don't want to move this to another account because I'll be leaving $200,000 of a guaranteed income base on the table. But what happens is they'll talk to some guys, say, man, your $100,000 only grew to $175,000 in your variable annuity. So we're going to say $100,000 only grew to $175,000. And say, man, if you would have had my portfolio, it would have grown to $255,000. That's what I hear this all the time. If you would have had my investments, you would have, an extra $75,000 more of income. Okay, that's 100% true. And the reason is because the fees on the variable annuity keep it from making that kind of return. But that's hindsight, because the facts are, yes, you could have made more money in a non-variable annuity contract, but you could also lost your money. That's the whole point. You're paying for the insurance of it. That's why it's issued by an insurance company. So are they good or bad? They're not. They're neither. They're an inanimate object, no different than a firearm. They're not good nor bad. They just are. The issue is if you're trying to accumulate assets, accumulate growth, variable annuities are not the way to go. They're just not, because the fees inherently are going to weigh them down. If you're trying to make sure they have potentially some growth, but guarantees an income stream, and variable annuities are great. They're not going to get hard. I can't think of any better product that says 10 years from now, I'm guaranteed to have a certain level of income from this investment. Now, again, could you do better? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. When it comes to retirement, doing better isn't what most retirees are shooting for, at least in my experience. They just want to make sure they don't get killed. The doing better part is when you're accumulating assets. That's when you're trying to get, hell's bells growth. I hope that makes sense. Remember, there's two different contracts, not contracts. There's two different scenarios: an income benefit and an investment benefit, or investment base, I should say, an income base and investment base. And you can never lose. I mean, again, I say never. It depends on what the contract is. You most likely won't lose on the income side, but you could absolutely lose on the investment side. You absolutely could underperform on the investment side relative to a different investment account because it's weighed down by the fees. But the fees give you that guaranteed income base. So Kim, let me know if that makes sense. Yeah, so Eric moved to cash. He's just shaking his head. I thought Sleepy Joe's going to crash the market. Can't let politics dictate your investments, man. Just can't. There you go. Kevin says the same thing. Yep. All right, man, look, I hear you. What's Sniffy Joe doing tonight? Is he giving a talk on his tax plan? I'd be interested. I'm not going to watch. It'll be interesting to see what he says. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the forever question: when you should get back in? Should you get back in one fell swoop or dollar cost average? Whatever allows you to sleep better at night. It's just that simple, man. I think, I don't know what either of you guys, because you're both, Kevin and Eric are both in the same boat. I don't know, what your time frame is for you think you can start having to draw this money out. At the end of the day, there is something to be said about having some cash on the side just in case things go crappy. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say you have your emergency funds to cover. Let's just say that for example. Your two options are go back in one fell swoop and hope for the best, or just dollar cost average. If I'm 10 years out, I'm just throwing it all in, man, without question. Now, I want to have some money on the side just to protect my downside. And certainly if you have debt, but if you're 5 years out, I don't think so. But if I'm over 10 years I start having to pull this money, I just dump it in and be done with it. But but a lot of people don't like that. So I can't sleep at night. And I said, well, then just put money in, 5%, 5% every 5 months or every 6 months or something like that. I mean, that's fine. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know if it's OCD or what. I hate things lingering, which is why, by the way, I got lots of people who are, wanting to sign up for financial planning. And I said, I have a wait list now. It's growing. And I said, and I appreciate that. But people say, well, I just want to, I'll go ahead and pay you and I'll just wait. I said, no, I don't want that. I don't like the idea of lingering things. It drives me insane. And I just don't like the idea of lingering. I just sent $10,000 to the IRS yesterday. I don't like the idea of lingering taxes. I don't like the idea of lingering chores. I don't like the idea of lingering investments. I just want to get done and be done with it and just make the decision, move on. But other people are more patient. I literally, it's like, it bothers me where I'm like, if people pay me for financial planning, I'm not going to be able to see, talk to them for, 4 weeks. Oh, I don't like that at all. All right. All right. Right on. Gotcha. I heard another guy talk today that the stock market usually goes down the month of May. I hate that crap. I hate it. I've heard stuff like this all the time. Sell in May? Sell in May and go away. I can't remember. It's like when the AFC wins the Super Bowl. These guys are nuts. I mean, we can make, oh my goodness, this, I don't know. I'm sure there's a way you could say that when the days when it's 60% sunny and 40% cloudy in Atlanta, the stock market did this. There's some correlation. It's not. Lots of guys on Facebook, and I'm on Facebook. And I just post videos on there. I don't get involved in anything, and I literally don't check it. I literally don't care. But there is a good there is a big audience on Facebook of people that I would still like to reach. I want to grow the empire anyway. So I do post videos on Facebook. But I know Jill has emailed me a couple of times on a Facebook group she's part of that just some clowns out there talking, not just clowns. There's no other way around that. I'm like, ugh. The past year I had money to a Roth, but I made too much. I had to pull it out. Is there an income limit for a traditional IRA? Yeah, the income limit to deduct a traditional IRA, I can't remember. I can't remember. It's like $100,000 or something like that, and it depends on if you have an employer-sponsored plan. You can find that out. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Frankly, I don't do a traditional IRA, and because I make too much money to do a Roth. So just FYI, I imagine I'm in the same boat as you, Chicken Charlie. I don't think it's worth it. I'm just telling you right now. I would, again, going back to the lingering things, I want my taxes paid today so I don't have to worry about it in the future. So I put $2,000 a month into my VTI, my M1 account, my VTI, $2,000 a month, $1,000 every 2 weeks. Dump, all in a brokerage account. But Josh, you don't get the tax deduction. I would rather pay the taxes now while I have the disposable income than later on when I don't have the disposable income. But Josh, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. Yes, I'll be in a lower tax bracket, but I'll have the obligations of the taxes to pay, and I won't have the income in which to meet those obligations necessarily because I'll be retired. And I tell you, man, I'm telling you right now, just think about psychologically. Let's just say you made $100,000 and you have a $15,000 tax bill. All right. You're like, all right, well, that sucks, but I'm making money so I can pay it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to have to pay $15,000, but I have a paycheck coming in every 2 weeks. So, even if I have to go into a little bit of debt to pay the tax man, I can pay it off. That sucks, but your pay's coming in, you can pay it. Conversely, on the other hand, we'll just say you're retired, you get a $5,000 tax bill, but you only have $40,000. I'm just using that for an example. Well, in that case, you're like, $40,000 is literally all I have. That's it. And $5,000 of that's got to go to the tax man. I have nothing more. And so that becomes a lot more hurt because you're like, I just can't go pick up a shovel and start digging ditches. I'm retired. You see what I'm saying? So in my opinion, and I know it's psychological, and I know there's truth to this too, by the way, which is why we know retiree spending goes down, because once that salary stops, they get a lot more cautious on spending. We know that for a fact. Everyone says, stupid Jonathan Clemens, oh, the spending goes down because they're running out of money. No. The spending goes down because people start worrying and paying more attention to the cash flow, man, because their salary is gone. Thus, they don't know where their next money is coming from. They have an idea of Social Security and their investments, but they're like, what if my investments drop? Yeah, I don't think I need that, freaking trip to Bahamas this year. I'm going to wait and see if the market goes up. If it does, I'll go. But if it doesn't, I'm not doing that. It's just that simple. There's a psychological component here that gets overlooked. So all the spreadsheets of the world drive me up. Look, I get it. People like to do spreadsheets. I do too. But to be a spreadsheet financial planner is nuts, because I'm sitting there thinking that in of itself, it has nothing to do with the real world in terms of the way you lay your head at night. And the way you lay your head at night is all that matters. I talk to people all the time, and their wives tell me all the time, he's a spreadsheet junkie. Dude, I get it. I'm like that too. I can't tell you how many spreadsheets I have that I've never shown to you, because I just work them all the time because I find them fun. They're interesting, but I'm telling you, you'll never spreadsheet it correctly, ever, because the psychological component of financial planning and retirement planning are huge. It's not psychological, like, oh my goodness, investment one versus investment two. No, it's spending. And taxes are a significant part of that spending. So if I can get that burden behind me, while the cash is flowing, I don't have to worry about it again, which is wonderful. All right. M. Burgundy says, Burgundy and gold. Remember the Redskins? Hail to the Redskins. You're canceled. Redskins, hail victory. Braves on the warpath, fight for all DC. I forgot what the other, it's something about burgundy and gold. I forgot. Oh, man, the 80s in DC was great when the Skins were freaking, oh, man, it was fun. RFK Stadium, we never went because it's a very expensive seat to get. Redskins were freaking kicking butt, taking names. We had Jay Schrader, Dougie Fresh Williams, Mark Rippon. Remember Tony Robinson from the University of Tennessee during the strike season? He came in, and I liked him at University of Tennessee, and we went 3-0 in the strike season. And that was the year we won Super Bowl with Dougie Fresh Williams. All right, so my man, I read an article for the average person. Half their lifetime net worth is spent in the last 6 months of their life. Do you believe this article is true, and how does this affect retirement planning? I'm not blaming you, Mark. Think about it. The average person, half their lifetime net worth, we'll just say half their net worth, is spent in the last 6 months of their life. Do I believe this article to be true? And how does it affect retirement planning? Think about that. What are they insinuating? They're insinuating the long-term care costs are going to eat you up. All right, so let's think about this. What is the actual real life, not pretend, not average, certainly, the actual. I've done research. My man, I'm drawing a blank. January Sedupto. I can't remember his name, from EBRI. He's now with T. Rowe Price, Employee Benefits Research Institute. Now he's with T. Rowe Price. Sanjeri Sanjiro Sudupto, and I follow him on LinkedIn. We've traded emails. I'd love to get him as an interview, but I'm not sure T. Rowe Price would let that. He's done wonderful studies on this. And the idea that the average person spends half their net worth in the last 6 months, I mean, maybe, but on what? Because it's certainly not on it's not long-term care facilities. I'd love to see the evidence on that. I'd love to see the real world evidence with real world people. A longitudinal study, which says Josh has 50, Josh has 60, Josh has 70. Not hypotheticals, real live people, data of real live individuals. What is a longitudinal study of saying what happened to this person and this cohort group of people in the Sudipto Banjari. I think that's what his name is. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Great. It's awesome. Just trying to scare you. So in that case, you might as well never retire then, because if your last 6 months you're going to spend half your net worth, well, you better keep on working. Let's see, that doesn't make any sense. How can that school board teach critical race theory to mostly white kids who have never come into contact with other nationalities? Because they're just virtue signaling, Kim. That's all they're doing. It's like, I'm anti-racist. No, I'm anti-racist. No, I'm anti-racist. No, you're not anti-racist. No, I'm not. Have I ever dealt with, what the hell is UBTI again? Taxable income. I forgot what UBTI is again. I forgot what it is. Ladybug, how much stocks versus bonds should be allocated? Ladybug, I mean, so I tell you, everyone's unique here. But I think, what my goal is simplicity, is to have the barbell, which is 4 years cash and the rest in VTI. It's literally that simple. When I hit retirement, I want 4 years of cash and the rest in VTI. Literally that simple. And I don't know what the rest will be. Could this be 8,000 million or it could be $8,000? I don't know, but I want 4 years in cash and the rest in VTI. And what I mean by 4 years of cash isn't it costs me $50,000 a year in income of spending. No. That's not what we're looking for. It costs me $50,000 a year of spending, but Social Security pays $30,000 a year. So even I, Charles, can figure this in my head. 50,000 minus 30,000 is 20,000. So in that case, I want 4 years of cash. I want $80,000 to cover the deficit between my income needs and what my Social Security is, if that makes sense. And then the rest is VTI. That's simple. And if VTI goes up, so we go, VTI goes up and I need that $20,000, I take 20,000 from it. All right. VTI goes up in year, I say, yeah, I'll take it from this. Oops, this guy here. VTI goes down, I take my 20,000 from the 4 years of cash. Pretty simple. It's so simple that people want to make it too difficult, because the more difficult, the more they can charge you. All right. Majority of your money is a VTI taxable. Man, I wouldn't think twice, dude. Hey, Marie. What a risk taker I am. I got caught walking in a rain shower just now. And I think Marie's coming from the Pittsburgh area, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it was pretty hot today, 84 degrees. And I think Pablo's Winnie the Pooh. And I think tomorrow, no rain. It's going to be cloudy. All right, so no rain. So I had to give my plants. I got lots of man. I got lots going on out there this year, man. It's going crazy. I got these 3 red, elevated beds I put together. And even I could put those together. That's how easy they were. Of course, I still screwed them up. Don't tell my wife, because I was like, yeah. But anyway, but they're together, fine. So, and I get all kinds of starters out there, seedlings, all kinds of little 1 gallon, 3 gallon, 5 gallon, 10 gallons out there. Oh, man, on top what's in my garden. We're going crazy this year. I'm doing all kinds of so I'm trying to experiment right now. So I got one of my new elevated raised beds. I got half kale, all right, because I'm going to do the no, I don't actually have no, that's what I'm doing. I got half lettuce, half spinach, Yeah, and then the other two I'm doing microgreens or kale, and I got some seeds from our local feed store last year, and I forgot the label. I don't even know what they are. I think they're broccoli because they're from microgreens, but I've just put them out there. I'm not even covering them up or anything. I just want to see what happens. I'm stoked, man. I cannot. If you haven't had microgreens, you don't know what you're missing. Kale, the small kale leaves are freaking awesome, man. I know a lot of people's like kale, dude. If you have those small microgreen leaves, they are fantastic. I'm telling you, there's so much yeah, right here. So I'll just tell you something else. Wait, hold on a sec. We're gonna go to True Leaf. Hold on just a second. TrueLeafMarket.com. Oh man, I love gardening. Man, it makes me happy. It makes me happy when skies are gray. Oh man, if you're not in the garden, I look. That's cool. I get it, but I love it. I love being out there. So I just bought from True Leaf right here. Look at those. Oh, look at that. I think that's a super sweet. Yep. Oh man, I got a couple of those suckers. These guys, I got them on stakes. Well, they're not staked up yet. They're too small, but they are freaking booming, man. Booming. Oh, I can't wait. Now I use a Mitlider gardening where you use your weekly feed once a week. It has all the nutrients. Oh man, look at that. Oh, does that, man? I cannot wait. Oh, anyway, so what I bought just the other day is I bought microgreens. I love my microgreens. Yeah, the microgreen kit. And I got some what happened? There you go, right here. I got some what did I buy here? Yeah, I always had kind of pain with with my soil that I use. So I got these hydroponic grow medium kits that the people at True Leaf Markets are the best they use. It's fantastic. Anyway, long story short, where's that microgreen kit I bought here? Oh, I can't wait to get that. I love microgreens. And I don't like them in soil. I like it better when it's not in soil because it's kind of dirty. You know what I'm saying? And I just like picking up and eating it. Oh man, it's good. I think I got this guy, this deluxe. Yeah, right here. No, that. I guess I did. Starter kit. Yeah, so you get 10 of these. Here's my man right there. I love that guy. He's a clown. I love him. He's a good guy. 10 20 by 10 growing trays, 10 20 by 10 grow pads. Oh man, I can't wait. Anyway, so my garden out there is looking good. It's booming. I got some watermelons I started from seed in my LED under LED lights, and I take them out, come back, put them back, take them out, put them back. They just started they germinated already. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to get those puppies. I'm gonna try to grow watermelons on stakes because watermelons can take over your garden. I don't have a very big garden because the old ball and chain says no, not too much. We like the grass. I was like, so that's fine. So I'm gonna stake them up, and they're gonna grow high. We'll see. I've never done that before, right? My man Andrew says he has 10 different mutual funds. Should I condense them to a few? I don't know your tax consequence, Andrew, but I would condense them. I would, but again, you be advised if you condense them, there might be a taxable event if they're in a brokerage account. My ear just popped. So someone thinking about me. I'd love to sit down with you and Dustin Tibbetts at the same time and place. Yeah, no, Dustin and I will be punching each other. Old Dustin. Jazz Wealth. How can our economy and country survive with, and he left me hanging, the unfunded spending that's got? That's, who knows? I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, all empires fall. Didn't Sniffy Joe finally recognize the Armenian genocide that the Turks put on him? I'm surprised that Sniffy Joe did. Good on him for that. But the Ottoman Empire fell. I mean, empires fall, and ours is going to fall too. It's just there's no other way around that. I don't. When's it going to happen? I don't know. But there's nothing you can do about it, man. All you can do is prepare and learn how to grow your own food, learn how to fix things, learn how to get some source of battery power in terms of battery banks. I truly, truly, truly believe get out of the areas that are more condensed. And I don't mean just escape to the rural areas like my man John Prine said. I like that. But just you want to be away from where the mass Nazis are. I think it all comes back to Look, man, at the end of the day, the powers that be, they don't care if there's 100% compliance. They just want enough, probably 80%, or maybe even 85%. So just be part of that 15%, and they'll leave you alone, man. They don't care about 100%. I mean, look, America's a very heavily armed society. It's not going to be the commies. It's not going to be the Nazis. It's going to be more of you're canceled. And I truly think that's what's happening, the social credit score and things like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to put you in a gulag. They're not going to put you up against the wall. They just say you cannot gather in polite society. All right. Well, if you're self-sufficient, you got a community of like-minded souls, who cares? You see what I'm saying? And I don't know. I think there's a lot of fear porn out there on this stuff. I just don't. I don't think they care or even have the desire to chase down 15 to 20% of the population who says, screw you guys. But I don't think you can do that in the inner beltway areas, the suburbans, going down to. So I'm an outside 400. It was called outside the perimeter. But Atlanta is growing, more and more, and the mass Nazis are spreading more and more. But I'm probably right on the cusp. So if I go, 2 miles that way, the mass Nazis are fewer and fewer and fewer farther into Forsyth County, into Cherokee County. They're essentially non-existent. I'm on the outskirts of Fulton County. In Fulton County, it's still, we got a lot of affluent, oh my goodness, my life is. Someone who's very near and dear to me was on a conference call at work. And this someone is let's put it this way. She's very near and dear to me. Now, I don't want to say much more. There's a pediatric doctor on there who is giving advice about the COVID. And the pediatric doctor said she's so scared for COVID that when she sends her kids to school, they double mask. And I'm sitting there thinking, and people are asking her questions about, the vaccine, about, the risks. I said, why? The minute I heard, that person was very near and dear to me. She said she checked out the minute she said she's so scared about COVID that she sends her kids to schools with double masks. And I said, why would anyone listen to a thing she says? I mean, it's the weirdest thing to me. I mean, she obviously doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. I mean, she's dumb. I don't care if she's a pediatrician. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. It's just, but yet she's going to tell me the truth on vaccines. She's going to tell me the truth. I was like, that's freaking ludicrous, man. And I don't know what it is, but I guarantee, I don't know where she's from, but just let's put it this way. I guarantee she lives in the urban areas, not the outer areas, because there's something that happens to people down there, man. It's weird. It makes them look at people as fearful. It's the weirdest thing to me. I don't get it. And if you're going to, just as weird. So anyway, modern monetary theory in full force. Right on, baby. Old Stephanie Kelton. She's running the show with Sniffy Joe. Not bright people. Not bright people. How should, here's John, my man John C. How should I project my expenses over 30 years? Inflation is 2.5%, but BLS studies show spending. This isn't my same John C. This is a different John C. All right. That's, I mean, exactly. How would you, this is where financial planning and retirement planning just goes off the rails. How do you project anything over 30 years? You can't. So I use, so here's what I do. I go to, I'll show you here. I go to firecalc.com. And we use our man spending models, and we use our man Ty Bernanke here. Ty Bernanke's reality retirement plan. He says your spending is your expenditures will be reduced. What do they say? I can't remember what it is. 2 to 3% a year starting at age 56. That seems a little bit extreme to me, but it's still at the end of the day, it's spot on. And so what I do here, John C., I just say take a 6%, a 5% address instead of the stupid 4% rule. Just do 5%. 5% a year. Our spending is most likely going to go down. Recognize you might have to tighten your belt. Good to go. No big deal. How can you plan for 30 years? We don't know what your expenses are going to be. We literally have no idea. Well, my number is 100 or whatever that stupid guy, Dan Gilbert, what was that guy's name from Prudential? Turned out to be a big lefty loon. that bald guy. They're all, remember back like maybe it was 10 years ago now, 5 to 10 years ago, all the financial guys were all white guys, bald with glasses. All of them, all older white guys, older bald white guys with glasses. It was weird, man. I said, where did that memo come? It says, if you're going to be a financial planning guru, you got to be an older white guy with glasses. The weirdest thing. And a paunch too, by the way. Hey, we got Paul here. Thanks so much for the videos. I'm learning a lot. I've 65 with a pension. My ears, oh man, someone's thinking about me. Stop thinking about me because it's ringing. I have 850,000 in savings. I could use some income, but afraid of the stock market. I hear you, man. All right. What happens if you die? I'm not sure what you're talking in reference to. Appreciate my man Tom providing some color to other people on here. Much obliged, Tom Major in Maryland. All right. Bob says, still considering Roth 401k conversions before the lower tax brackets expire in 2025. Yeah, man. I mean, 100%. But remember, it's going from 22 to 25, 24 to 28. I mean, I don't know. And then 10 will stay at 10, and I think 12 goes to 15. Yeah. But anyway, just in of itself, the lower tax brackets, they're not jumping up higher. They're not. And by the way, Sniffy Joe, look, I know Sniffy Joe he doesn't know what he's doing. Like what was I listening to? Was it Owen Benjamin today talk about the Faustian bargain? You ever heard that? Like Sniffy Joe always wanted to be president, so he's president, but he doesn't have he's got dementia. He doesn't know he's president, if that makes sense. So you're president, you want to have what was Owen saying? Like, you got a Ferrari, that's great, but the devil denies you the gas to run the Ferrari. So that's a Faustian bargain or something like that. It's weird, but I think it's pretty interesting too. So Sniffy Joe doesn't know he's president. But they're not raising tax rates on the middle class. And when I say middle class, 25% tax bracket and lower, you're not going to see a tax increase. They'll get you other ways. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not stupid, but they're not going to raise income taxes. They're not going to cut Social Security. I just stop. My man. All right. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrencies? I don't like them, man. Dickie Spaz says, I don't like them, Dickie. Appreciate your super chats. I mean, like I did a video the other day. It's like everyone's like, cryptocurrencies are limited in terms of how much there is that can be mined. All right. Well, the individual unit of cryptocurrencies is, but the cryptocurrencies themselves are not. I mean, look at all the cryptos out there. I was just listening to a guy today. I actually took a little bit of a nap outside. One of y'all had sent me this video on this guy, which is actually pretty interesting. He was in Japan. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but it was pretty interesting. He was from Japan. He's American, or English, but he's from Japan. He was in Japan during the chaos of 89, 90, the Japanese bubble. And he was making this case that we need lots of unique currencies out there. And that would imply crypto. Kind of like the old free banking of the old days. And, when you study, Austrian economics and, basically there's a lot of banks that issue their own debt, their own currency, essentially. I get that to some degree. That is what crypto is. I mean, it's a bunch of different cryptos vying for the attention of, I guess, the investors. It's pure speculation, man. No other way around it. I mean, so is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's the only thing, is far and away above everything else. But look, people got to do what they got to do. I'm not touching a 10-foot pole. Not at all. All right. Sell them and go away. That's what it was, Tim. Tell them and go away right on. Yep. Astrology. Remember, economics, the only profession that existed to make astrologists look good. Exactly. I put 30,000 taxable accounts so far this year. If it goes up, I'll put more in. If it goes down, I'll put more. Right on, man. Putting things, creates mental clutter. 100%. My head is already cluttered enough. Which is why I'm so frustrated not getting this one book I'm working on, my first piece of fiction, and probably be my last. I tell you, man, for those who said, I got to write that great American novel, it's tough, dude. I'm just telling you right now. Writing a fiction book is hard. It's fun when you first do it, but then when you edit it, you're like, man, and then you edit it again, you're like, man, it's not fun anymore. It's a burden. I'm just telling you right now, it's a burden. I don't enjoy it. But I'm getting out there and it's getting done. I love doing it at first. I love it just letting the ideas flow. Now you got to touch them up and stuff. Oh, I hate that. I just want it done. And I literally, when I start doing it, I'm like, all right, let's just knock this out. But it's like going and picking up a weight, picking up a dumbbell. You're like, all right, walking down the steps to go to the gym, my gym down the basement to pick up a dumbbell. Once I do it, I'm fine. But it's just like getting that first dumbbell picked and hoisted is always a challenge. Hey, Russian house, right on, man. From one business owner to another, do you get any blowback from clients for taking a side politically? Well, not my clients, because my clients agree with me politically. The people who don't agree with me don't hire me. It's just that simple. But let's take a look. So I'll give you an example, Austin. We're looking at my Google Analytics, and I don't do that much on my website in terms of. All right, so today I had 43 people on my fees page. 43 people. Well, that was yesterday. So 16 so far today. All right, so yesterday, oops, can I go back to Monday? I had 65 people on my fees page. All right, so 65 people on my fees page on my Google website, and probably 5 or 6 of them inquired about some kind of service that I offer. But how much do you need? For me, I don't need very many to be profitable. So I know some of those people, but see, I don't even, I know some of those people were disenchanted by my fees. I get it. Some people are just curious. I get that. Others are just competitors. I get that. But at the end of the day, I don't want liberals to hire me. I just don't. They bore me. They annoy me. And this is from a family. I was born and raised on the left, man. I tell this to people all the time. My first vote was for Mike Dukakis in 1988 and Barbara Mikulski in Senate from Maryland. So I was a far left wing. I was far lefty. The liberal is a disease that affects the mind, and I don't want that as part of my client base. I just don't, because it's not fun for me, and they're not going to hire me anyway. That's why I'm open about it, because I'd rather them choose not to hire me. But then you're also making a case for people who are politically minded along your ways to say, I got 2 people, both similar services, but one guy is outright sees the world the way I do. One guy's quiet. I'm going to go the guy who sees the world I do. And I know I would, because and the funny thing in my business, there's tons of people on the left who say, hire me, I'm on the left. And there's very few people on the right, which I don't understand. Which is weird to me, and so to come at it from the right is, it's a risk, but not really. Hell, it's this whole thing with Fox News. The whole thing is, why is Fox News? Why? It's just this weird to me, man. You have this huge untapped group of people who are desperate for like-minded people. Rush Limbaugh, remember, R.I.P. And just no one does it. I don't get it. And so if you're coming from the right, you should be about that. Now, if you're in the middle of freaking Boston, Massachusetts, you know what I'm saying, and you do some, I don't know, whatever, maybe not. But if you're coming at from the, if you're in a normal place with normal people, you should say it. Say, hey, I'm conservative. I don't think. Does that mean I say, before we do financial planning, you got to show to me your Trump voting card? No, but just be honest with people, man. I think it's good. And former employer converted my pension to cash balance plan. Today has about 210 in it, earns about $8,000 a year. I am 62, and what should I do? Invest it or take the pension? All right, so here's a good question. So he's got 210 in there. So his question is, should you take the pension of $237 a month? I'm presuming. All right. So if this is looking at what I'm thinking, and I don't follow me as some guy on YouTube, but if you have a cash balance pension plan that's 210 that you can roll over, or you're going to get $2,300 a month as a pension for the rest of your life, I'll let other people decide what to do there. That's so obvious to me if that's the numbers. I have a sneaky suspicion we're missing something here, though. I really enjoy your videos. I have 3 401ks from different companies. Should I consolidate to the current one? Yes. Is there a limited amount I can transfer one time? Nope, unless your company doesn't allow that. But there's no IRS limit at all. So what would you contribute? So would you contribute to a 401k Roth even though you may be in a high tax bracket? Yeah, maybe. That's for me, I would. I would. Now, everyone's situation is unique. I don't know anything else going on. I don't even know if you're married, but are you? Everyone's situation is unique. Let's just put it that way. But for me, yes, I absolutely would. When I was at USA, I was making over $200,000 a year. All my deferrals went into the Roth. I mean, I'm just telling you because I said I want to get the tax man behind me, and it's just the way to do it for me. That might not be the case for you. A lot of people say, "Oh my goodness, I'm not getting the max tax." There are a lot of people out there say they don't want to pay a penny more than they have to. I don't get that. It's just I don't know. I mean, not growing up with money, maybe I just don't care that much. Like, let the IRS get a couple extra $100. I don't care. It's worth it for me not to have to worry about it. It's well worth more than $100 to worry about it. All right. And look at my man Jake. You're saying you get a guaranteed pension for life of 20. Exactly. Yep. Jake is spot on, man. Spot on, Jake. All right. Yeah. Awesome. Spot on. All right. Any thoughts on UGMA versus 520? What happened to that? Yep, right on. Take pension. Yep. Everyone's 100%. Everybody's got it right, man. Am I an investment advisor? Not really. Josh, what made you see the light politically spot on? I will show you, and this is the story that goes back. Yeah, I'm going to share with you. Man, right here, if I can find it. Hold on just a second. Now, look, I've always liked books. I've always been we didn't have a TV growing up, so I read by default, if that makes sense, because we didn't have a TV. We didn't have a car. We didn't have a TV. I was raised on an island off the coast of Maine by hippie parents. We had chickens, and just this composting, and before all the cool kids are doing that. So I've always been, I just always created my own. I've always just had to create my own entertainment. And so I read a lot. But anyway, long story short, so I was in the Army real quick, and I was I'll share the story with it. I was in Honduras, and we're getting ready to go to Tiger Island. And in Tiger Island, the infantry, which I was in, we pulled security for, they had some satellite communications, Air Force people. I think it was Air Force. I can't remember. There's some satellite communications things. And we're getting ready to go to formation to go on the Chinooks to go to Tiger Island from Sotocano Air Base, which is I don't think it was in Tegucigalpa, but it's down there someplace. Anyway, long story short. So I was we had this, makeshift library at the little air base there. And I think we had like 5 or 10 minutes to get into formation. I was just looking at books there. I said, we had 3 weeks on Tiger Island, but no other communication. I said, I want to grab some books from the library just so I have. And anyway, I remember, I think it was a guy, I think it was V-Man. He came up and said, Scanlon, we're getting ready to get in formation. We're getting ready to go. I said, okay. So I looked at just whatever book looked of interest. Literally, I judged a book by its cover, and I came up with this one right here. Come Nineveh, Come Tire by Alan Drury. So all right, there's it's got fires, White House. I'll look at that. You didn't buy it, you just rented it. Joe Biden has a book, Promise Me Dad, A Year of Hope, Hardship, and oh boy. It's all fake. Anyway, so this book changed everything for me because it's all about the commies taking over, the capitulation by essentially the version of the woke. This is written back in the 60s, 70s. literally looking at the words of the commies. The commies said what they're going to do, and somehow the Americans just didn't believe it, and as such, the commies it was freaking scary, man. It's scary what happened, and I'll never forget. They had their version of like a liberal writer. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but their version of a liberal writer writing it from his rural Virginia place, and basically said, I should have listened at the very end when the commies were marching in D.C., because they were. And America had laid down his arms and the commies were marching in D.C. And their version of a liberal writer said, I should have listened. And I'm sitting there thinking, and it's just like he said, they told us, and I just didn't believe them. I thought they were for peace. They were here they were here to colonize us, essentially. It's freaking frightening. You're like, dude, not a shot was fired. No one got killed. It was just political one-man ship, and the Americans were too busy fighting their own stupid little battles, and the commies said, okay. And every day, it was just scary. I'll never forget that. That changed everything for me. And after that, it's like, I don't trust the commies. And then I started reading more and more about the commies, and it's an evil philosophy. And remember, communism is based on Marxism, all right? And anyone who preaches Marxism is an evil piece of excrement, because Marxism is evil. Critical race theory, evil. Liberation theology of the Catholic Church and the Jesuits, evil. This is evil crap, man. And it should not be tolerated. It should not be allowed in polite company. It should be canceled. And then you have BLM. Not only were they saying they're Marxists, trained Marxists, but they're saying they abhorred the nuclear family. And the crazy thing is, if you look at the blacks in America, even under the worst oppression, the family was strong, and now it's devastated, man. And what has happened? It's freaking nuts. It's nuts. Did you see that Michaela? What's her name was? If you just look into this, this is not good, man. It's racist. No, it's not. It's not. It's a love of my brother. It's a love of my fellow man. This is horrible, and everybody knows it. Just rich woke whites want to say it's racist because they want a virtue signal. Michaela Bryant. It just never, I'm 100% against abortion. I'm 100% against abortion. And she should not have been, I'm not trying to say she should have been abortion, but she never had a chance. Because her mom was, just the whole thing's nuts. If you just know the history behind Michaela Bryant's mom and dad and grandparents, it's just the whole thing's nuts. And you think of this, people who survived being put into ships on top of each other, shoulder to shoulder, and slavery, Jim Crow, and just like that in 40 years, just like Daniel Patrick Moynihan said, devastated. And the same things happen in the white community. And it's all because the good words of liberalism, and the good words are just freaking evil crap. Forked tongue, man, forked tongue. And it's just getting worse. And, it's at some point, you got to say enough is enough. And that means you're going to get the arrows thrown at you. I get it, man. At some point, you got to say, no, I'm not allowing you to use these derogatory terms and make me not say what everyone knows is true. That the destruction of the nuclear family is going to bring to absolute chaos to our society. And it's happening in blacks. It's happening in whites. It's happening in Spanish speakers. And it's going to bring us to complete, total destruction. And y'all know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. Just everyone's afraid to say it. Well, no, I think fewer and fewer people are becoming afraid, but it's disgusting. And so that's why you have to stand against BLM, because any group that uses Marxism has got to be defeated. I don't care if it's White Lives Matter. If they're using Marxism, in fact, I never understood this, like why pro-white people like Hitler. I said, what the hell? It's a friction not. Forget the stupid stuff. Socialism, man. Marxism. Jeez, these idiots out there like Hitler. I'm like, you freaking idiot. Y'all advancing the white man's cause. That's stupid. Stupid. I mean, forget all the stupid stuff. Just the idea that Marxism is going to do you right. I don't care what you are. It's like I said in an earlier live stream. It's forked tongue. It's the devil talking. You're an upset white guy. You're like, the only people talk for me is these stupid Nazis, so I'm going to throw in with them. That's the devil. That's the devil's language, man. He's like, yeah, man, you hate these people, join these people. You'll feel There's a Twilight Zone episode along those lines. Actually, quite interesting, and I can't remember the name of it, but you should watch it. Season 5. It's the same thing though. You got a guy who's trying to be a American Nazi in the late 50s, early 60s, and he starts to build. Hitler comes back. That's what it was. Hitler comes and he starts to build an audience, and then I can't remember what happens, but it's all lies. All lies. Anyway. All right. Yeah, David said, I'd never. Yeah, how could you? A liberal financial professional. I mean, my goodness, liberals and finance just simply don't mix. But the funny thing about liberals and finance, they're not liberal. They just pretend they are, because when it comes to finance, they inherently can't be liberal. That's just all there is to it. All right. Everyone got that. Take the pension. Mars shot like Hitler at first. He just went a little. No. No. Let's see. If it has socialist in the name, is evil. I don't care what it is. If it's socialistic, it's evil. That's all there's to it. Socialism needs to be fought back. Marxism needs to be fought back. Liberalism needs to be fought back. All need to be. It's all part of progressivism. It's all the same thing, man. I have this shirt. I don't have it on today, obviously. I have my Austrian economic shirt, Austrian Revolution. But it's every socialist is a dictator. From the Mises Institute. I couldn't believe I 100% right. All right, my man says, serving 8 years U.S. Army, best thing I've done. And the skill I took away still employs me 30 years later. Man, right on, man. Me too. Every time I get nervous, like, I say, look, I served in the infantry. I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I was freaking. And if I can make it through 4 years in infantry, I can do this right here. And people say, but how do you deal with all the negative noise? I just don't care, man. It's like, maybe it's I'm older too. I got a wife who's she's pretty sassy, so she keeps me on the even keel, but I just don't care. It's funny. I laughed. I said, why would you take the time, sending a comment or emailing if you don't like me? It's weird to me, but whatever. Communism has proven they can make everyone equal, as equally poor and oppressed, except for them. Remember that. In communism, there's always a dacha for the privileged, you know what I'm saying? Great book called The Lords of Finance. It discusses how nations deliberately destroyed their currency to get out of paying war reparations. Oh, yeah. Oh, that sounds good, man. That's interesting. That's what Germany did. Absolutely. In retirement, what S&P, why not use an S&P 500 ETF? Yeah, I think it's a matter of preference, Ed. I mean, S&P 500 with 4 years of cash, or VTI with 4 years of cash, or Wellesley. It's just a Wellesley's easy. You know what I'm saying? I won't use it personally, at least as I sit here today as a 50-year-old. But yeah, as a guy who advises people, I say, look, the one thing we cannot have is a crunch of a la Japan. We just can't. Now, some people are more conservative than me, and as such, the Wellesley's perfect. Some people are not. They're fine with what you said here. It's just the situation dictates, as always. But I agree with it 100%. All right. Now, right on. Griffin says, love my live streams. Keep up the good work. All right. I still wonder what I feel about a market dive generally. I was in the Army, Paul, because they gave me the most for college, even though I had no clue I was going to college. I was not cut out for school, still not cut out for school. I hate school, and it's horrible, but I actually was a pretty good student in college, believe it or not, because I found something I enjoy, which is economics. But I was in the Army. You go in the infantry, I got $720 a month for 36 months, as long as I was enrolled. It was awesome. A check. It was literally as a voucher system. It's freaking awesome, man. Most important things to consider before you retire. What are your expenses? 100%. Jake is a good teacher here for sure. All right. Yeah. Book deals the way politicians are paid off. Remember it was, what's the name from Missouri? Richard Gephardt. And the unions that support him bought, I remember Rush Limbaugh talked about this, like hundreds of thousands of his books. and just so he could say he was a bestseller. It's all corrupt, man. Is that guy even still alive? Richard Gephardt. Yeah, man. If you appreciate, smash the like button. Yep. All right. Looks like people. Yeah, exploding. I mean, I was talking to a guy yesterday who works as in a crane. I said, man, that's a tough job being a crane operator. I said, man, and it was pretty interesting. Right on, James. Picking up brother out of Orlando Airport with daughter and dad. They're building. Yeah, it's crazy. You can tell the growth of a town by the cranes. That's for sure. All right. Biden's going to talk, man. Yeah, right on. Marisa, 230. I saw that. It got a lot of people on here. That's pretty cool. All right. It's that. Oh man, that's one of the. I got going back to Harry makes me think about I got a question. I think I'll stop here in just a second and go watch. I don't care about Sniffy Joe. We're gonna go watch The Feed, which is some of a dystopian thing from the UK on Amazon with my daughter Chloe. We like watching shows together. It's fun. But anyway, what was I getting ready to say? My man Harry, I got a video I will do tomorrow. A man asked me a question on doing a pension, SPIA, an income annuity. It's pretty interesting, and Harry made me think about that. All right, good. Uh-oh. Josh just told my wife I love you and hope we can meet one day. Yeesh, I was hoping he'd say his wife loves me because I don't swing that way, John, if you know what I'm saying. Nothing against the fellas, but they aren't anything attractive to look at. I still don't get it. That's why I think being gay is born. How can you look at a guy and say, hey, big guy, give me a smooch? But I get it, man. I get it. If you're gay, you don't look at a chick like that. I get it. And that's why I think it's born. And as such, God doesn't make mistakes. So I don't know. It's funny. The ink that was spilled over gay marriage, and I was 100% against it. I'm 100%. Not Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Pretty catchy line, but we lost. And we lost, because the gays have lots of money. I get it. They have lots of street cred on the Boston to New York to DC and then San Francisco, LA. I get all that where the media runs. At the end of the day, it's awful hard to turn away from the idea that two people loving each other and not being able to marry is I don't know. I interviewed Paula Bolyard about 2 years ago on the YouTube, and I like her. She's on Instapundit, or she's on PJ Media, and she was 100% against my thing. I just don't care. I said, so if these two guys get married, does that have any impact on my relationship with my spouse? No, none whatsoever. If these two guys, and I got a guy who just on LinkedIn, and it kind of breaks my heart when I think about what these guys had to go through, frankly. 24 years married to his husband. And I remember when I first hearing that he's married to his husband, I said, that's weird. I don't like it. But I said, man, they've been married 24. Look, I don't know. I just think 24 years ago, he's only been not married in legal terms, but I just think, like, how much poop did that guy have to go through just because he loved another man? And it bothers me. It's just the idea. And I never yelled at people. I never did like that. Like I said, when I was growing up, my mom worked at a bookkeeper for a gay restaurant in Portland, Maine in the late 70s, early 80s. I remember going there all the time. And I remember meeting all kinds of gay people. And trust me, I've never been pro-gay or anti-gay. I just don't care. And but I remember my mom, let's just put it this way. I don't want to get too deep in this. Gays were never foreign to me, if that makes sense. Anyway, it was illegal back then. It was literally illegal to be gay, even in Portland, Maine. And so they had a kind of almost like a speakeasy, if you will. And my mom was a bookkeeper there. Now, it wasn't all peaches and cream. I mean, there was some shenanigans going on by characters, if you know what I'm saying. And to deny that is to be silly. I don't want to get too deep in this, but let's just put it this way. Some people had an insatiable appetite for some stuff, if that makes sense. And but the same thing goes on heterosexuals too. Hell, why do you think there's so much sex addiction? Why do you think there's so much pornography out there? Some men just have insatiable appetites for that kind of stuff, be it gay men or straight men. It's not specific to gay men or straight men. The issue was back then, AIDS was running rampant, and men were dying because they would not refrain from unprotected sex because of AIDS all over the place. My mom knew lots of them who died from AIDS in the early 80s. And they all, to a man, they just said, "Meh, we don't care." In some way, they didn't care because they probably felt they were the whole thing sucks, man. It just sucks. I always am empathetic for people who had to go through what they had to go through for no fault of their own, if that makes sense. And it sucks. But be it as it may, this guy posted on LinkedIn, hey, 24 years. And I just, I said, hey, awesome, dude. Nothing's more important than family. But still, I just think, can you imagine, like, me and Shar, we've been married since 1999. So they've been together, this guy and his guy, since Shar and I have been together, if that makes sense, probably in the early 1995. Can you imagine just trying to hold hands with your loved one, at some freaking park in St. George, Utah? Just throwing that out because Charlotte and I went to St. George, Utah one time. And this sucks, man. That's not right. And, so we've learned and we've bettered ourselves for it. I truly believe that. And I still love the Lord, and he still loves me. It's what's amazing. You don't have to sacrifice. You love the Lord just because you say, at the end of the day, let people love each other, and just do your own thing. That seems to be a pretty safe way to look at things for sure. I think we got a lot more problems, and the issue is resolved now anyway. But the facts are, one person married has one standard deduction. That's the way it should be, and unlimited spousal exemptions for your spouse. That's the way it should be. You should not get boom, 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 boom. You get one. That's it. One married filing jointly. So pick out your spouse. And you get one spousal, unlimited spousal exemption when you're gifting assets or leaving assets at death. I don't know why we got off this stuff. It's funny. Yeah, it's all good. It seemed like, what was I saying about that? I don't even know why I said that. Oh, that's right. So John, he just told his wife he loves me. Yeah, but you're a good guy, John. But here's John. Here's Charlotte. John, Charlotte. Oh, man, John. Not even close. Not even close. Yeah, I got a beautiful lady. Remember that song by Van Halen? All I need is a beautiful girl. Oh, I love being married is the best thing ever, by the way. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know, Celie. We're gonna have to agree to disagree there, Celie. I just don't care. What do you think about her? Did he already announce he's running? Imagine if we had two black guys running for governor, Vernon Jones and Herschel Walker for Senate. Freaking be awesome. I love it. I love it, man. Absolutely. Uh-oh. YouTube's going to push me in the weeds after this? Yikes, you think? I thought I was saying nice stuff. I thought I was saying nice things. All right. Oh, yes, I am. All right, I'm going to get out of here, my friends. Appreciate it, y'all being here. James said he paid for my course. Right on. Good stuff. And again, it's okay. All right. Oh, now John's backed up. Dude, I'm just goofing on you, man. You know that, right? I'm just goofing on you. John saying, I'm married and hope to retire at 62 sooner than I planned, but I still I start watching you. Right on. No, I got you, man. That's the funny thing about being a guy. Guys can goof off on each other. It looks like women can't. It's weird, man. Women get too freaking douche. Like, pipe down, Piper. Freaking men. That's the fun thing about being a man. When you're growing up as a kid, you'd literally throw fists, and 2 minutes later, you're back to freaking goofing. Women hold grudges. Look at freaking my ball and chain. She can give me the silent treatment for weeks if she wants. I'm like, all right, I don't care. Please, I literally don't care. You could have killed the dog, Charlotte. I will apologize for you killing the dog. Just stop giving me the silent treatment. Please. Anyway. All right. Yeah, right on. Sun Devil went to ASU. I'm on the rat and the corporate wheel. The pension scam is deteriorating. The goalposts keep moving back, so you can't finish without a penalty. Yeah, I got you, man. All right. I get out of here, my friends. We will see you later. Appreciate y'all being here. Have a good night. Let's go watch Snippy Joe. No, I'm going to go watch my dog. Thanks again, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Much obliged.